Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome in to another SFA stream. Today we've got Season 13 Week 8 BearCave on its way, followed by a banger game day on deck. It's going to be a great day. Let me know if you can hear me so we can go ahead and get started. And we also may have a lot of viewers here from the Reddit posts or various Discords or whatnot. So if this is your first time watching the SFA, first and foremost, welcome. It's an online dynasty ran primarily through Discord, but we use Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram as well. You can claim a team. You can see their depth chart, set your playbooks and your schemes. You can hire coordinators, then you can recruit players, and we also have a bunch of server games as well, which we have fantasy football. We have a fully functional sports book, among other games that you can use to get player and recruiting rewards. So it's a really fun time. If you want to join, click any of the links in our descriptions. And I finally have done it. I've set up commands in the chat. So you can do the exclamation point Discord, exclamation point Patreon, and exclamation point home field. So I finally am like an official streamer, not bootlegging it anymore. I finally figured out how to do it. So there you go. So you guys can check those out. So if there's new people into the stream, you can point them to the commands. And yeah, and if you do watch live, we are affiliated with Twitch, so you might run into some ads. If you want to drop a Twitch Prime, it is greatly appreciated. Any revenue made through the Twitch channel does go back to you guys in the form of a national championship trophy and care packages. So yeah, but without further ado, you guys can hear me. Let's get started. And if you guys have been living under a rock, you know that we are now affiliated with Home Field, the premier collegiate apparel brand that is known for their incredibly, comfortable, officially licensed college design that are all vintage. If you want to get a discount, go for it. It's 15% off by using code SFA. You support me, you support them, and you get a super cool piece of gear. And they did just announce today, with the announcement of college basketball being back, the can't miss tip-off. They have all this cool stuff dropping. Couple things like some throwback shirts, but the jackets, Dogwater, I see there's a Villanova jacket dropping on Sunday. So let me know if you guys, how you guys kind of want me to tell you guys about the home field stuff. I'm going to do this sort of thing on a stream to kick it off for like halftime of game day. But do you guys want me to post it to the Instagram stories when I see them drop this kind of stuff? Or do you want me to just stick to streams? Let me know. But yeah, so super cool stuff coming, all basketball. If you're into college basketball, I know a lot of us here are. So feel free to check it out. Make sure you use that code SFA, because not only are you supporting me, but Dogwater, you could have gotten 15% off, my guy. Oh, they let you cancel and will refund me, so whenever it come back, replace and add code. Perfect. I mean, like if you place that big of an order, you were missing out on like a $125 discount. So make sure you use the discounts. D-Sleep almost missed recruiting. All right, let's go. So without further ado, all of that stuff out of the way, we have a banger week for you. And this is kind of, so far, low-key been a bit of an upset week. We've had a couple teams go down. Utah, most notably, I can think of in my mind. I know Navy blew a massive lead, just from what I'm looking at here. But it's going to be a great day of games. As always, if you don't know how BearCave works, let me just make sure I have my time set up. Is that these are kind of the top 10 games of the week, so to speak. So what we do is we go into the game, we quick sim, and if the game's close at the end, we're going to jump in and get some gameplay. And then the game day game at the end of the week, which is this week, is Buffalo at Army. We watch that in full. So yeah, big things coming. So let me just open up my graphic here so I know what games we're doing. And super excited about this week. I love game days. So let's get it started. First game up is going to be Rutgers against Charlotte on the road. And this game is pretty significant. Obviously, Rutgers is trying to battle in a really, really tough division. Yeah, we do have channel points now, so I'll put out a couple of predictions here or there, and you can use them on the things that we have. So, first up, though, is the Rutgers at Charlotte, and this is Kenzie versus his former team as well. So, Kenzie, if you're here, let me know, kick or receive. You are the home team, so you can't pick the actual coin toss. But we'll see if the Charlotte Dream Run can continue. They currently lead this division. Dogwater's the real MVP. Yeah, the sim can be brutal sometimes, but we're getting in here, and we are here at Charlotte. Love what Kenzie's been doing, but he has to fight his former team, a very good team with tons of SFA players. But what I'm really looking for is Devontae Billings, the freshman cornerback at Charlotte. Currently has 4 interceptions on the year, but 3 of them have been pick sixes, which already is up there on the all-time list of defensive touchdowns. So he is having a massive start to his career. So we'll see if we can continue that today. And I don't see Kenzie here, so as always, we just pick kick. Yeah, the Utah loss was tough. You know, that's kind of what happens when you do the Sims. Sometimes you just, you know, get caught on a bad day. But we're starting out here, and it's a 7-3 lead. And if you guys were putting in predictions on this game, 4.5 point favorite for Rutgers and an over/under of 56.5. So let's go to the next quarter here. Rutgers does extend that lead. Can Charlotte battle back? No, they're unable to convert on any of these drives. Luckily, they do convert a touchdown at the very end there, but they do take a 14-point deficit into halftime. Can Charlotte figure out a way to stay in this game? They are responding, but their defense can't get a stop. So as we go to the fourth quarter here, Rutgers is just running away with it, folks. Charlotte can't do much of anything here. 52 points on the board. Rutgers making a statement on the road. And that's going to do it, folks. The over will hit. It will be a Rutgers cover to start the game. I don't know if Pinstripe is here, but if you could remove this suspicious monitoring from Mills, that'd be great. But, yeah, this is a big one. Not much from Charlotte here. So Mendenhall, a returned punt as well, and it was just Campbell kind of popping off on this defense. So let's just see the stats here. Browning had himself a pretty good day. Obviously, this is a team that wants to run the ball for Charlotte, and when they can't run the ball, then it kind of, their offense is in shambles. And defensively, Okada got a couple of tackles. Where'd our guy go? Did he get a pick? Devontae Billings, no, he did not. And Rutgers, Campbell, have yourself a day. 4 tutties, 70% completion. Rashard Mendenhall in his senior year getting a tutty. And not much receiving outside of Cade. Blocking-wise, Vinny Queen, the SFA player, giving up a sack. And defensively, all right, KJ King did not get a sack on Kenzie, but they did enough to hold him, and that's all you need. All right, so first game is a Rutgers cover. All right, as always, I got to get my player of the game graphics here so I can post them later. Are we going to have any crazy BearCave results today? Welcome in, Kenzie. Yeah, tough loss. That's what happens when you start winning games you shouldn't. You find yourself on stream and then you tend to get humbled. That's kind of how it works. No, Matt Campbell is not an SFA player. He's just kind of one of those more well-known quarterbacks that we've come to know at this point. All right, next up, though, is, we got a big one. So this is going to be the debut of Coach Mills at Western Michigan, taking on McNasty at Central Michigan, putting the undefeated record on the line against Mills. Mills, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. I know you're here. I think you said heads, but... So I forgot Central Michigan in the undefeated graphic on Instagram this week. That was completely my bad. So we'll see if that was a bad omen for them. They have one of the best defenses in the country, but then again, they can't score. And we've got rain here in Michigan. And Mills heads and kick. Western Michigan, what used to be pretty good. They have only, I think, one SFA player left, Glenn Ewing at running back. But Central Michigan has won their last 3 games by a combined 5 points. So that's why they're not ranked. Everybody doesn't necessarily believe in them. We really want to see them put up some points and put together a full game on offense before we start ranking the Chippewas. So let's see what they can do today at home as the prodigal son, Coach Mills, returns. Can he get a big win in his first game back? We're off, folks, and the Chippewas score immediately. And remember, they're headed by Wykel Summers, the SFA player. And they have a bunch of transfers from the Power 5 on the line as they get a touchdown there. But Mills immediately responds. This is not the Mills ball we know, but this is a 14-14. And this is one of the lowest over-unders I've ever set. It is 41.5, and the Chippewas are 3-point favorites. So right now we're at 38 as we go to the fourth quarter. So a field goal will still not put you above it. Remember, when it's kind of close, we start summing closer, and that will do it. That hit the over hits, and the Chippewas are out running. Is this the game we've been waiting for? 31-14. Is Western Michigan gonna make a comeback? It doesn't look likely as Central Michigan, baby. The last Hail Mary there doesn't do anything. A 16-point victory for the Chippewas on the national stage. That is massive. Glenn Ewing getting a touchdown. He gets a couple. Then Wykel Summers doing his thing. So Aaron Powell, your senior quarterback, not the worst. Glenn Ewing running the ball, 5 yards carried, doing pretty well. But once you fall behind, it's kind of over, unfortunately. And a lot of work to do here for this team. But hey, Mills wanted a challenge when he came back. Here you go. And let's see how Central Michigan did. Wykel Summers, the 4-star SFA quarterback, freshman. Not the best day. 45 completion percentage. And this team's all about running the ball, running behind this hefty lineman. And 37 carries for Trey Robertson. 3 touchdowns, and yeah, that's kind of how they like to play, as they've got Kobe Beef, they got Gold, the transfers in, a bunch of pancakes on the board, and on defense, 2 sacks from Oliver. Dwayne Johnson not doing too much on the line, the transfer from Michigan State, but yeah, that's gonna do it here. So they finally put together a good game here in the MAC. So Central Michigan going to be ranked next week, surely, at 6-0. And there we go. Alrighty, folks. Charlotte got destroyed by Rutgers 52-24. So we have Central Michigan cover and a Rutgers cover so far. But now we've got the next iteration of this insane rivalry that started last season. For those of you who were not here last year, Michigan State was winless. They were like 0-10, 0-11. They had a lead late against Southern Miss. Southern Miss took the lead with 1 second left, and then Mississippi State returned the first ever kickoff return for a touchdown live on stream to win the game in walk-off fashion by Darius Ostrander. So what is going to happen this time? B-Dog, if you are here, let me know. Kick or receive as we are off Mississippi State. Can they return the favor? Their only win this season is against Texas A&M in Week 1. Southern Miss has yet to beat a Power 5 team. They've lost to Georgia Tech and Northwestern. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. For those of you betting, this is a 5.5-point spread for Southern Miss and an over-under of 47.5. One of the best rushing offenses in the country. And some may say this might be a little bit too big of a spread for Southern Miss, but we'll have to see what happens. They also have one of the best defenses statistically in the country, and obviously senior quarterback D. Dowis. So we'll see what they can do. Remember, folks, we also got recruiting after all of today's games. We have 5 recruits, and I know there's one SFA reject that will be posted. Yeah, first year you do get immunity unless you're Mike and you have the unlimited coin glitch, so then you will never be at risk of losing your job. Correct, yeah, you can't get fired. Alright, here we go. I do not see B-Dog in the chat, so as always, I do heads and kick, and we're not even going to get a chance to do the toss. And here we go. What does this season have in store for us here? And quick touchdown there for Southern Miss, and 14-0 lead after 1. So Mississippi State, can they battle back? They do have Brock Thunderbird, the SFA player, and man, stalling out multiple drives here, and it's still a 14-point lead for the Golden Eagles. And they had a field goal in the third quarter. Not a lot of scoring happening here as we enter the fourth quarter with 11-point lead. And Southern Miss extends it to 18. We have not hit the over quite yet. We're only at 38. As we go one by one, this game could maybe get close, but it looks like that is going to do it. A 21-point lead, and that goes 48. I believe that just hit the over with that late touchdown. As Mississippi State with that late touchdown does hit the over. It was set at 47.5, and we hit 48. Gosh, you love when it is a close call. And that is going to be another cover from Southern Miss. So this stream so far has been all covers. We haven't jumped into any gameplay or anything. Interesting start. Ray Rice and D. Dowis doing their thing. D. Dowis with a 73-yard run. That's what you love to see. Him getting involved. Just wait, Mills. That means probably it's coming on the right side of the graphic, which means that I am in trouble. D. Dowis, man, 12 yards carry. That's what you like to see. Putting together a beautiful game plan here. A lot of pancakes. And DeAndre Moose, Larry Toro, you love when your SFA players are at the top of the stat sheet. That means you had a great day. And then and Mississippi State just started out super hot, caught Texas A&M on a bad day, and they've done nothing since. Brock Thunderbird, you know, having himself an okay day. Darius Ostrander, the hero last year in this game, only 3 catches. They did get an interception, but nothing else. And that will do it. 31-17 for Southern Miss. They get revenge, and they're 5-2, and they might be in that race for the G5 bid. Obviously, they're going to need some help as we have a lot of undefeated teams or one-loss teams ahead of them at this point, but they're still in it. All right, so Southern Miss here. And next up is we've got Ohio State taking on Iowa. Jarkus, I saw you here. Let me know heads or receive, or sorry, kick or receive, as you are at home today. Ohio State, after a tough start, I believe they started out 1-2, have battled their way back. Both have had very, very tough schedules. So kind of a last breath for Ohio State if they want any chance at pushing Michigan for the division. Obviously, Iowa needs every chance that they can get as they're hoping to keep pace with Minnesota. We don't have any coaches currently at Mississippi. Southern Miss, though, is coached by B-Dog. But Ohio State, tough year for them. Unranked for the first time in what seems like 5 seasons at least. And Iowa obviously trying to stay put. They're in second place in this division after today, most likely. And obviously Ohio State has a lot of competition outside of Michigan. And watch out for Penn State, man. They got a big upset today over Illinois. They are still undefeated in conference. So you never know what could happen. Jarkus in his feels after whatever that IRL happened. I didn't see the play, but I heard that they, quote-unquote, got screwed. So Kinnick Stadium, where they do the wave. And shout out to all you guys who've already used our code. We've had plenty of people first week of the home field thing doing pretty well, so super hyped about that. Now, can Jason Richardson actually perform well on a stream? Let's see. A quick touchdown from Ohio State. Oh, no, here we go. Iowa, come on, down 14-0 at home. That's not what we wanted to see. 17-0. Oh, Iowa, 24-0 at home. All right, they get a touchdown back. But we're at halftime, though, so for those of you guys caring about the sportsbook, this is a 4-point spread for Iowa and an over-under of 55.5. Oh, baby, here we go. Can we get a magical second half? We've seen Iowa beat Ohio State before. No, 38-7. Oh, the disaster. And another interception. Iowa just falling apart here today. Not sure what's happened. I guess Brian Ferentz got canned at Iowa and went to SFA Iowa. This is ridiculous. 45-7, 48-7, and the under still hits. The over/under was 55.5, so 48-7. The under hits for those of you betting, and it is a Ohio State runs away with it on the back of Malik Nicholson. Is he finally coming into his potential? SFA player Terrell Flowens getting himself a tutty, as well as RJ Ware getting himself a pick 6. Oh my gosh, what a result. I guess, oh, does this mean, no, maybe he got benched. 37 completion percentage and 2 interceptions. Jason Richardson, no. The fall off, I hate it. One of my favorite CPU players in the country just absolutely getting smoked here today. Ackerman on the backside, Sue Sailor getting a sack, but man, tough on the defense when your offense can't complete a pass. And yeah, I guess Iowa ran into the Ohio State buzzsaw as Lee Sanders putting together an actually capable game today. But look at this, Dallas Jacobs and Malik Nicholson. Of course, Malik Nicholson probably got an injury here. That's just what he does. And then Dallas Jacobs went crazy. But is it too late for Ohio State to get back in the playoff race? That's going to be the question. They got an interception there. Schroeder got an interception as well. But yeah, a shocker here. Yeah, Louisville does run the MAC. They've taken their relegation pretty nicely, whereas Wake Forest is not. I think they're trying to get relegated into the even lower divisions, D2. We might need to call up like North Dakota State or something. But Ohio State here, a big victory for them after they've been just absolutely slandered all season long. And do we have anybody on a bye? Yes, Llama's on a bye. All right, so we're going to take him over because my game's going to be coming up soon. But first, we've got the Sickos game of the week. And this is where we throw out our first prediction of the stream. Remember, get those Babanas right. You only have a minute. And Flynn Sanders, he is playing. He's not hurt. How many passing TDs will he have today? Passing TDs. Will it be over 2.5 or will it be under 2.5? Remember, this is the first time we are really going to get a good look at Michigan on stream in a stream setting. So get those bobbing out. Will their pass defense be able to corral the generational talent, or will this kind of turn out like that Western Kentucky or that Navy game where it just didn't quite work out? Zach, if you're here, let me know. Kick or receive, it's an 11-point overall difference, as we're going to get on into it here. As the #1 pass offense in the country, but unfortunately one of the worst defenses in the country, taking on one of the best defenses in the country. So really interested to see how this one shakes out. We are at home, though, for Flynn Saunders. We are in Boone. Can they do the unthinkable? Obviously, when this matchup happens, when Michigan's a top 5 ranked team against App State, you think about, you know, that olden day upset, and that's one of the first like massive upsets that I watched live that made me fall in love with the sport. So that blocked field goal return for App State, anybody remember that? It was insane. So we'll see if they can do it here today. Here we go. #2 Michigan. Honestly, one of the most shocking stories of season 13. They haven't been good since season 8. Obviously, season 7 they made the semifinal and they lost on a tight end fumble to Ron at Iowa State. If you remember, Michigan, that iconic Teddy Bridgewater interception on Flame at Baylor in that game. Classic memories here with Michigan. I'm so glad that they're good again. We got some stuttering, but we look to be okay. The stream looks fine, so I think we are still vibing here. We made it through a crash. So kick. All right, here we go. Flynn Saunders, what can he do? 0-0 here to start it out. 7-0 here for Michigan, and App State responds. All right, we might have a barn burner here. Obviously, it is a big point spread for Michigan, 13.5, but they're currently losing. They do take the lead, though, at halftime, and the over-under is 57.5 here, so we'll see what they can do. At halftime, we're at 30, so on pace for the over. As the defense is kind of coming up clutch here. I'm actually shocked by the App State defense, though, as Michigan does score right before the quarter. They're going to need a big touchdown, though, here to get back in it. And there's a long tutty there for Michigan as this game's starting to burst wide open. But a big touchdown the other way. Oh, boy, a long touchdown for Flynn Saunders. Is he heating up? No, they just can't stop Michigan as we get to 58 and the over. And can App State, though, can they get the no cover? Yes, they do. So as time expires, they hit the no cover. So Michigan only wins by 11, but they do save it. Julius Dickens got himself one. Jones got one, and that over looks to have hit for Flynn Saunders. It looks like he got 4 on the day. We have to go to the stats to confirm. As Flynn Saunders, yep, have yourself a day, big fella. That's generational talent worthy. 60% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, and no turnovers. So obviously, if you bet the over, you are rolling in it here today. There you go. Enjoy your Babanas as we check out the rest of it. No running game to speak of. No balance at all for App State, as you would expect. Julius Dickens, one of the top receiving threats in the country, getting himself a touchdown. And the defense here, 1 sack. Lou Underwood getting 6 tackles. But, I mean, holding him to 38, I think you might be able to say is kind of a W. But then again, the second half, they kind of fell off. And Jason Givens, the quarterback here, 52%. He beat out George Kennedy, who did transfer to Purdue. and he's the starter. But, oh, baby, James draws the SFA player. 1 touchdown, over 250 yards. That was the problem here today. As Cheeto gets 7 tackles here, the SFA player, and Brody Byron. Michigan is one of those teams that loves to stack up those SFA IGR in-game recruits that we keep track of from season to season, and Michigan is now 6-0. Glad to have you back, Mr. Mills. Michigan won. All right, here we go. As now we are going to the Patreon Choice Game of the Week, and this one is going to be fun. As if anybody realizes, is that we have Arizona taking on Coastal Carolina. Not only is Coastal one of my favorite teams in the country because you got CJ Irons and a defense that can't do anything. They have A.J. Samuel, the running back, the SFA player, who is now in the Heisman race. And they're taking on Dogwater at Arizona, who's coming off one of the funniest losses I've ever seen from Josh Gamara. He threw on back-to-back passes, interceptions in the exact same spot on the field. I had a slight mess up. I dropped a couple of frames, but we should be good. You might want to reload your stream. But Dogwater, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. But yeah, this could be a fun one as he completely changed the offense now. So Gamara is he's obviously still the quarterback, and he is probably going to be more of a game manager role instead of slinging the rock a bunch. So we'll see what happens here in today's game. But it is a push. Nobody really wanted to give him the favorite, but the over-under is 61.5. Obviously, Coastal, one of the best offenses in the group of 5. They rival that App State team. But Arizona, if they do lean into that run game, this is a rough defense. So I could see this game going very, very high scoring despite the heavy run from Arizona. So let's see what happens here. Arizona will get the ball first. And we are off on the teal turf. And quick touchdown here from Coastal. And Arizona, no, they only get a field goal. So lower scoring first quarter, just filling each other out and getting stuffed for another field goal. So they can't punch it in, but the defense is holding today for Arizona. Obviously, if you remember, Coastal's only loss, they did get shut out early on against Southern Miss in the season as Arizona takes a 9-point lead, but Coastal, they are staying put. Oh, and a quick touchdown there. Arizona killing them, a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter. Coastal on their back foot. They do add a touchdown here. The over-under was 61.5. We've hit that. As we continue, can Coastal get a stop? It does not look like it. So it looks like Arizona is going to win this game unless we see a ridiculous choke. And that is going to do it. A 10-point winner here for Arizona on BearCave. A massive win for Coach Dogwater as he hits that 5-win mark. Janikowski hitting 3 field goals, and then they just kind of exploded. Bowers, Jansen getting a touchdown. Bowers running all over the field there for Dogwater. And Gamara 18 of 23, and this is the kind of that's the kind of game he has to play. If you let him do like hero ball, it's just not going to work. But running an offense like this, man, oh baby. As just hand it to Bowers, he gets 3 touchdowns. Jansen got a touchdown. Lazard, the leading receiver. Matt Bowers as well. Scotland on that left-hand side. Taylor McQueen getting an interception. As James Rose gets another interception. I'm sure he's a leader amongst the country at this point. And CJ Irons on the other side, he just couldn't quite get him back in that game. A couple of turnovers probably was the reason that they ended up losing this game. The fact that they have to lean on their offense. They can't. Their defense doesn't really get them stops. DeMar Moon leading them in tackles, a couple TFLs, but they couldn't generate those extracurricular plays because they had to just worry about the run. So, big time win there for Arizona. Did they figure out their offense just in time to make a late season run? Obviously, Utah lost, so they're back in it with them. Obviously, the Stanford problem does still persist, but luckily with a 12-team playoff, you never know. But that's a massive second loss for Coastal, as the biggest winner out of that result is actually Cincinnati and LA Tech. All right, so we're officially halfway through the stream, actually a little bit over halfway, and we're on to that right-hand side of the graphic. If you don't know what I'm talking about, BearCave, it's the 10 best games of the week besides the game day game, and our coaches pick them, and we tally up points and all that kind of stuff. And so the right-hand side of the graphics, really the big games, and we start out with the #1 team in the country, as Virginia Tech comes to town against East Carolina. We haven't seen this team on stream, I don't believe, since I think their game day against Georgia Tech, potentially. Actually, maybe week 2, or I guess Utah was a couple of weeks ago. Coach Joe, if you're here, let me know. Heads or tails, kick or receive. We're going to go on board with him today. As I always favor the user on the away team for usering, as obviously this is my team, currently the best defense in the country on paper. We'll have to see how we hold up, as traditionally I've lost the most games in BearCave style games. Virginia Tech, they are 4-2. If you're betting on this game, I don't know why you would, but it is a 9.5 point spread for the ECU Pirates and an over-under at 50.5. So we're going to see Heisman leader Christian Richard potentially leading this East Carolina offense. Obviously, this team is known for being one of the most talented in the country, but always choking at the last second. So we'll see what happens now as we do heads and kick here. Tribe, I need me to cover as well. So we're off at the Boneyard here. I think this is only my second home game as a quick early touchdown for Virginia Tech, but East Carolina battles back, and here we go. The defense is already screwing me today. Come on, East Carolina, get a stop. There we go. Go up 2 scores. That's what we like to see at halftime, and we had one before half. A big-time explosion from our offense in the second quarter. That's what you like to see. Let's finish these bozos, 42-14. And this is arguably one of our hardest regular season games left on the schedule. Can we finish them off in a big way? And 49-14, as it looks like this game is over. And it's just kind of going back and forth here at the end of the game. And there it is. ECU goes to 8-0. As they are running the ACC, as Vanilla Vic getting himself involved. Finally, he gets 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, and then it was DeBose and Thurman, followed by another Vic touchdown, and Kilpatrick and James O'Neal, as we finally put Gary in at the end of the game. Robert Williams, no touchdowns, 5 of 20 through the air. Even worse than Jason Richardson. Whew. Running the ball, Jamal Dean, who saved their game against West Virginia last week, had 2 TDs here today. And Ozzie Merkins couldn't do much. Couple of tackles. No extracurriculars here. And that's going to do it for Virginia Tech. On the other side, The Heisman leader having himself a day. 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, 81% completion percentage. Vanilla Vic over 100 yards as Richard also added 52. He had a horrific semifinal game against Buffalo, and he is on a redemption tour, it seems, as he slung that rock around. Holy smokes. I don't think we've seen this big of a throwing game from him, as Leslie Stirrups, 3 tackles for loss. We didn't really do anything out here. Josiah Bird, one of my favorite players on this team, getting a sack. But outside that, it's just business as usual. As we move on, so no number 1 upset, as this has been a quieter BearCave stream than normal. We still have yet to see any gameplay on stream yet. Normally we have a couple of close games. Sometimes all of them are close, but it seems like today's matchups just have not delivered, which is all right. Sometimes you get crazy streams, sometimes you don't. As we move on here, couple more games left, as now we've got a big one here in the Big 12. We've got Baylor taking on Kansas. Last season, this was the game that really decided the division, so let's see if Kansas, they've lost 2 in a row. Coach Fink, if you're here, let me know. Baylor had a weird loss to Iowa State. This is the last year of that Flame core where he went on 7 straight CFP runs, so we'll see if Flink can tame him, finally. This has been, Baylor has ran the Big 12 for what seems like decades at this point. But if you're betting on this game, it's a 7-point spread in Baylor's favor. They are the favorites, and a 58.5 over-under. So obviously, currently, Kansas leads the conference, but this game would flip that. TCU really the only other team in this race, but they are just not very reliable on stream, so I don't really see them as a threat right now. So Baylor is on the road, so that can always get a little tough, obviously. See IRL Oklahoma last week taking on Kansas. So we got some crazy games coming up after this one, but let's see. All right, Kansas, here we go. Is Fink, Bryson Chant, they got a big-time recruit from Zeke Yeager, I believe is his name, of the IGR this week. So let's see what happens here today. Baylor starts out with a long touchdown, but Kansas responds, and a quick touchdown for Baylor. Oh, baby, this game is heating up already as Kansas responds with a field goal. Nothing doing so far in this second quarter. And Baylor has the ball. They add a field goal before half and another field goal before half. So a 10-point lead, 20-10. That over-under is 58.5. We are just over halfway. Can Kansas battle back? They get a critical stop, and they get a touchdown. This is a 3-point game. Baylor, though, adds a touchdown. Kansas, they've got to be able to respond. And they don't. 4th and 17, they miss the field goal to make it a 1-possession game. That could be the dagger as Baylor adds a field goal themselves and another field goal. But 50 seconds left. This game looks to be over as Baylor survives. It was tough there for a second, but they get the job done, and they are now the #1 team in the division as Braylon Burnside, who else? J.J. Justice, but Burnside leading this team in his senior year. Bryson Chant, the freshman, the lights might have been a little bit too bright as he had a touchdown and an interception and only 42% completion percentage, and they just couldn't get it. And you probably wish they could have ran it on the ground a little bit more, averaging over 5 a carry. They might have just run it out of time here. Billy Gilmore, the SFA player, getting 11 tackles, getting a sack there from Goodman. Tez White, he has 9 sacks on the year, and he's kind of just gone cold during this losing streak. He's no sacks in the last 3 games. as now Kansas went from 4-0 and they've dropped to 4-3 at this point. Colt Brennan, the SFA player, senior, not the best day for him, but when one guy is cold, the other one is scorching hot as Braylon Burnside goes over 200, 2 touchdowns, the former #1 recruit in the country. And on the defensive side, this is long past the days of the legendary defense, but they are still quite quality, getting a few sacks and an interception here. And that's going to be the game. I thought we were going to get some gameplay there. It's all right. Will we get... I think we've only ever had one stream where we didn't get any gameplay. So we'll see if these 2 games left deliver. Normally, when something like this happens, there's something crazy cooking up either on game day or late in BearCave. So we'll have to see what happens here. Well, next up is a big one in the SEC. Alabama in this division does control their own destiny. However, if they stumble and they face Florida and Texas A&M, I believe, late in the season, or a couple of the big guys late in the season, then the winner of this game would take their spot in the SEC championship. You got Tennessee and Coach Nick taking on Kentucky, who's had a few very exciting finishes the last couple of weeks on stream. Coach Nick, if you are here, let me know, heads or tails, kick or receive. This is the checker rivalry. Who you got, the blue checkers or the orange checkers? Tennessee is on the road. We know how good this team is in the sim. Can they deliver on a BearCave stream? Bishop Moore, the quarterback, has drawn a ton of criticism throughout his career. As Kentucky as well, fighting for respect. Obviously, they lost to Alabama in a close one. They lost on a, I believe it was a safety, and then they won last week. So we'll see what they can do here against a TCU team on an interception by Avery De La O. Kroger Field here. Look at all that orange in that section. I don't see Nick, so it's going to be heads and kick per usual. So we are running through this stream here. We're only at 47-minute mark. And here we go. And another safety for Kentucky. So they start out with a 9-point lead here in the first quarter. Now remember, if you're betting on this game, it's a 5-point spread for Tennessee, the Volunteers, who are coming in on the road, and a 59.5 over-under. Tennessee adds a couple of field goals now, 6-9. Nice, nice, as Kentucky gets a touchdown before halftime. So a 10-point deficit for Coach Nick. Oh boy, it's starting to heat up here as they add a field goal. Can Kentucky pull off yet another upset? But they've gone stone cold here in the third quarter. It's a 16-15 game, an absolute bloodbath of a defensive battle as they add another field goal. Tennessee can't punch it into the end zone, but they just keep adding field goal after field goal. Kentucky once again can't do anything, and Tennessee there extends it to a 2-score lead. So remember, we can't even jump in. And there it is. It's a close one now. A 2-point game. We'll jump in at the 2-minute mark. And here we go. A 3rd and 3. Boss Hennessy is in the game. The backup SFA quarterback, Bishop Moore, is not in the game. So can Kentucky get a critical stop as we've got a... I'm not quite sure what happened there. Potentially a issue. As, okay, we've got a gameplay glitch, so what happens with this, unfortunately, is we have to just sim to the end of the game. 4th and 59, not quite sure what happened there. So we got to just sim, and so, okay. So this happened once earlier in the season. It's the blue square being the blue square, and normally we just restart the game. Yeah, I think we just reset. Because otherwise I start going Otherwise, something weird could happen. So we're just gonna reset here. It's obviously when you guys when we run games on a simulator or on a emulator, sorry, it's never perfect. So if you're new here, anytime there's an issue, we just go along with it. We restart, fresh slate for both teams, and we just call it what it is. We call it the blue square. Quiet your headphones here. It gets very loud for a second as I load back into the game. Make sure you lower it, because it does get very loud. I can't skip this part of the intro. Man, that was a good game too. No, so what it means is that, luckily I always have autosave on, so all the past results from the week will save. It's just that game's results won't, so we just restart the game like nothing happened. So we're back in, everything's back to normal here, all the games save except for this one, and we just jump back in as if nothing happened. So that's kind of like a precursor, so we'll see what happens. Nick, you are here now. Do you want a heads or tails in kick or receive? Wanted to see what would happen on a 4th and -59. But we got tails in kick here now. So Kentucky, man, they've shown now 3 weeks in a row that they can hang with the big dogs. They took Alabama to the wire. They beat TCU at the wire, and now they took Tennessee to the wire once. Can they do it again? So we want tails and kick here for Coach Nick. All right, here we go. Part 2 of a big-time rivalry, and this time Tennessee is going to destroy them. Boo! I don't like this version. Come on. Come on, no. Kentucky, no. Oh my God. Such an L. I hope you know, Nick, that I'm going to reference this in the podcast, that this is not a real blowout. I hope you know. This does not count. Boo. So Kentucky is going to get absolutely massacred this time, 52-7, as Nick is cheating somehow over there. 59-14. Boo. Oh, my Lanta. So we got a return punt. Des Stiffy doing his thing. Harris coming in, getting a touchdown, but it was over. Boss Hennessy getting a touchdown throw and a touchdown run for Stone. Okay, don't act like that you weren't just about to lose to them on the first go-around, as quarterbacks didn't really do much. It was all Des Stiffy here, 3 touchdowns, and Pierre Stone, the backup, getting some run. All the receivers doing their thing. And Sock Rider proving to be a great addition, as they do get an interception from Stanley Bell. And Bruno Peter, or Bobby Miller, got himself an interception. And Mark Harris didn't have as great of a day this time, and Sean Hudson couldn't get anything going on the ground. That's just kind of how it goes. Boo, Nick, boo. We all know Boss Hennessy would not have gotten those 3 yards. All right, so 59-14 here. That is the result that we are going with. Oh no, it's crashed again. Oh no. All right. So Kentucky gets smoked, unfortunately. It was nice while it lasted. We have a couple other, like, Cinderellas kind of going crazy. But the last game of BearCave here today is going to be Georgia and Clemson, a big-time game. This is actually rated as the best game of the season in the preseason, obviously, before Georgia took a couple of tough losses. Clemson, though, at this point, has only played 5 games. They played a couple very close. So we don't really quite know if they're as dominant as previous year's teams, but this is going to be a fantastic test and a fantastic game. I'm hoping we get some gameplay here, as this game is a 60.5 over-under, and Clemson is a 6-point favorite. So we'll see. Clemson, they are at home, Death Valley. They don't lose here often. And remember, folks, we have a good game day coming up between Buffalo, the defending national champions, against Army. Coach MZ taking on his former boss, the former coordinator of the Buffalo Bulls. The reason they won that national championship. See what happens in that one. But we've got a good game here first in the ACC/SEC mashup. Georgia, Ryan McBride taking on Clemson, Walter Hearn, two of the best quarterbacks in the country. Can Georgia keep it close to the end? Here we go, 7-point lead here, and they tie it up immediately. Oh, and they tie it up again. A 99-yard return by Cody Williams, the #1 receiver, for a touchdown. Oh boy, this one hopes to stay close here. Clemson does get a score. Georgia, they do battle back. 21-21 at halftime. That's what we like to see here, battling back and forth. Georgia does take the lead. Clemson, though, battles back. This one's going to be a barn burner as we go to the fourth quarter. Georgia gets a quick touchdown. And Clemson, they respond quickly. Here we go. We got a fumble now. Bert Osborne, the SFA player, and a quick touchdown there. And remember, we're at 4 points now. And no! Georgia adds another score. And now it is a 14-point game. We are not in sim range. Come on, Georgia. Give up a touchdown. Here comes Clemson. Clemson, 4th down incoming. They do get a 20-yard touchdown, and they do score. All right, here we go. 49-42. Do we get to see some gameplay? They do have all 3 timeouts. So number 3, Clemson on the ropes here against the SEC, and Georgia gets the ball back. So a first down is going to end the game. 49-42. The over has hit. Clemson is losing. Can Georgia pull off the upset and get ranked? A first down wins the game. They are stacking the line with those SFA tight ends. He stiffies off one guy. Remember, Clemson no longer has the Hall of Famer Martin Black at middle linebacker, so they definitely have regressed a bit on the defensive end, but they rely on Ryland Magnusum there in the middle with the white sleeves. 2nd and 8 here up the middle, and he gets stuffed. Randy McBride going backwards. That second timeout coming on out. Randy McBride over 100 yards. 3rd and 11. 50% on 3rd down today here for the Bulldogs. Looks like they're going to continue to run it. They're hyping up the hometown crowd. Hands it up the gut. Tries to get to the outside, and he's stuffed. So Clemson gets the stop they were looking for. 1:22 left on the clock, and decision time for Georgia. They're going for it. Georgia doesn't want to punt it. They're coming out empty. They want to win the game right now. They're 4-2. They have nothing to lose. Ryan McBride, here he goes on the run, and he's sacked by Ryland Magnusum. The SFA player gives him the ball at midfield. What a play! Gets through 2 blockers, takes down Ryan McBride right at the 50. So Clemson takes over. Anytime they're on stream, they seem to have an absolute classic. Here comes Clemson. 1:17. They need a touchdown to send this to OT. Hearn over the middle, and that's going to be a completion, but time is of the essence. He gets to Corey Cross, the running back. Walter Hearn in the backfield, dumps that one off. That's going to be a first down. A lot more as, oh, what a collision. Jason Walker, though, gets the first down. Clock does stop, and they're hurrying it up. They're at the 38. Plenty of time. Remember, folks, Georgia is stacked, littered with SFA players all over the field. Watch out for Khalil Reeves with that neck roll as delivers it over the middle, and he is brought down, I believe, by Burt Osborne, the SFA middle linebacker. But clock is ticking now. They were short of the line to gain. But they quickly get up there. Hearn, here he is. He's yamming that deep. Open man, diving catch at the 1. They don't give him the touchdown, so Georgia still has a chance. Clock is ticking. They need a touchdown. They're going to throw the ball over the middle. Touchdown, Clemson. Hubbard gets another catch, and we've got a tie ball game, folks. The yam to the tie. That pass reminded me of, once again, Season 7, the game between UCLA and Iowa State, that 2-7 matchup where I believe it was Ethan Garbers who was quarterbacking UCLA when DTR went down, and as the game expired, or was coming close, he had that diving animation where the guy went down at the 1, and it went to overtime and they would lose. But here comes Georgia. I mean, plenty of time. They still have 3 timeouts, 27 seconds, and Bobby Doucette is one of the best kickers in the country. He's like a senior, I believe, if he's still here. I think he is still here another year. We'll have to see. But 27 seconds, you got Ryan McBrien, the SFA player, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Here he is. Free rusher, though. Oh, they get the mid-screen off, but he's taken down quickly. McBrien has 6 touchdowns on the day. He is cooking behind the line. 24 seconds left. 49-49. McBrien, corner blitz. Oh, diving over the middle, Joe Newman, and they've already wasted 2 timeouts now. Not really trying to push it downfield at all. BJ Morris on his 5th tackle. They are kind of stacking the box, considering that they need to get into field goal range. They might be susceptible to a yam here, but they're just going to dump that off. It's 4th down. So Georgia stopping the clock now. No first down. And Clemson has a chance in regulation. Oh my gosh, a colossal colossal chond here from Georgia, as Clemson's going to have a chance. They get a return. They get a nice break to the outside. He breaks 2 tackles. 8 seconds left here for Corey Cross. Clemson now on the offensive. 8 seconds of time for one play to get into field goal range or a couple of shots at the end zone. Walter Hearn. Georgia, once again, their offense being their Achilles heel on these game day games, or game play. They motion guy out left. Walter Hearn, he has some time over the middle. It's going to be a first down. They're getting quite close, but they got to hurry this one up now. Trent Freeman. So what is the call? 1 play left here in regulation. They have to hurry it up. They are going to try to get a spike off. Are they going to have enough time here? Yes, they do. So 1 second left. A Hail Mary upcoming. 1 second left here in regulation. Georgia had a 7-point lead a couple of seconds ago. Now Clemson could win it all here. Walter Hearn trips right. They're headed towards the end zone. He gears up. He launches a missile to the 5. It bounces around, and we've got overtime, baby. 49-49 at the end of regulation. And here we go, folks. We've got some free football, baby. And what did I tell you? When the stream doesn't provide, something always happens that's ridiculous. We've got some free football, folks, as Georgia's going to start out on the defensive end here. So Clemson has to score first now. So Walter Hearn, they got a touchdown. Once that was risky. The underlying defender almost jumped in front of that ball, but this is the 11th catch here for Ryan Hubert, who's quickly becoming Walter Hearn's favorite target in this offense. Jaboris Jackson, the SFA safety, on the tackle. A fresh set of downs now inside the 15. Split back set for Hearn. And shovel pass coming. He flips it out. That was risky, but open. Touchdown, Clemson. They take the lead. Corey Cross. A big risk and a massive reward there for Walter Hearn. He tossed it out at the perfect moment, as now Georgia's on their back foot. They had the lead only a few minutes ago. Now they're staring at a deficit. And they have to have a touchdown. Touchdown, we go to a second frame. Anything less, and Clemson walks away victorious. Handoff now. And runs over a man. He gets speared. The reason I don't do that, dog water, is because, unfortunately, if you're not aware, there is an overtime glitch where the same team could get the ball twice or whatever, ends the game. We've never had the game day glitch with the way we do BearCave games, so I'm not going to stop it and risk a game ending like that. So that's why I don't do it. So we just continue the BearCave style because it works. If I switch it up, if I enter the game, or I switch it to CPU versus CPU, that's known to cause the glitch. So 3rd and 4 here for Georgia. Big time moment and a delayed handoff. They do get the blocking. It converts. Clemson was not ready. What you would think would be a risky call works out. Both offensive coordinators taking big risks here in the overtime frame, and they're working out for him as we get a fresh set of downs now. 1st and goal. I formation. They're relying on these tight ends. A toss out wide. Beautiful blocking. Can he get there? No. They bring him down inside the 3. Georgia, though, they are threatening to tie this game up. Clemson's going to have to rely on that defensive line. Under center, the big nasties on both sides. Who's going to win? 2nd and goal, handoff. McBride, wide open lane. Touchdown, Georgia. They tie it up. So we got to watch the field goal attempt to make sure that we got a second frame incoming, but Georgia would start on the offensive end. That was dangerous. But we've got a tie ball game, folks. 56-56. Neither team showing any signs of blinking first. Remember, last time Clemson was in an overtime game was against Notre Dame in the playoff last season, and they lost in second OT. Can they fix that today as we get a 3-yard rush to start from McBride? He's been really all of their offense. We have yet to see Ryan McBride really do much since we entered the game. I formation yet again. They're leaning on this running game. Trying to... quick option. That just does not work. Ryan McBride does not pitch it out, and he's brought down by B.J. Morris again. So 3rd and long incoming. Clemson has a chance to force a field goal attempt here. 4 down linemen as Georgia comes out empty. 5 wide now. They're hyping up the crowd. Here comes McBride. Corner blitz, and it is a mid-screen. That does not work. Caleb Broussard, the tight end, unable to convert. So here comes the field goal unit here for Georgia. From left hash, a 37-yard field goal to take the lead. The kick is up, and it is... No! It's barely good, just inside that left upright. Wesley, the freshman kicker. That's right, they have a new kicker. He's a freshman. So a win... So a touchdown, and Clemson will win. A field goal, we go to a 3rd frame. Anything else, and Georgia walks away with the W. Walter Hearn here, he threw an interception against Notre Dame in this situation in the playoff. Can he avoid disaster here? 59-56. This game is threatening our all-time record in points scored. I believe that hovers around 120. 2nd and 7. Safety coming down. Man in motion now. And we got quick option yet again, and down goes Walter Hearn. A 3rd and 7 now. This game living up to the hype of the preseason best game of the year, as now Clemson goes empty in their attempt. Here comes Hearn. He dumps that off. Can he get to the first down? Or Osborne brings him down. Graham can't get there. It's 4th down and a decision for Clemson incoming. Do you take the field goal, go to another frame, or do you go for it? They take the field goal here. From right hash, a 33-yarder. If he converts, we have a 3rd overtime period incoming. The kick is up, and it is good. An instant classic, folks, as we are going to 3 OT here on BearCave. And we've had some notable overtime games before on this stream. The last notable one was that Washington-Arizona game from last year, as we get a delayed handoff here to Corey Cross, and he gets about 4. I keep thinking that the one is rubbed off on his jersey. He's just, you know, he's just dirty with all the mud. Remember, folks, the longest game in SFA history is 5 overtimes. We've never had a 6th. We're at 3 right now. 59-59. Hearn, he's going to take off. He escapes. No, he goes down. He's sacked. Jason Gaddis gets his 2nd sack of the day. So another 3rd down incoming. And if you watch those field goals, Clemson's guy has a lot more range than Georgia's. So I think the field goal advantage is to Clemson, but obviously you don't want to settle the field goals. As you get a screen pass, Corey Cross, he has a ton of room. Can he get to the first? No! He's absolutely hammered at the line. Down he goes, 4th down. What a play. So the field goal to take the lead now, it's a 32-yarder. Clemson kicks it. And now twice they settled for a field goal on 4th and short. Will it come back to bite them? What an absolute thriller we have for you guys here. 1st and 10, Georgia, once again, a touchdown wins it, a field goal ties it, and anything else is a sad, sad loss. 1st and 10 here for Matt McBride. To the end zone, he overthrows the touchdown! Oh, the humanity! Ryan McBride, he couldn't handle the pressure. He just overthrew the most wide-open scorer of his life. Lorenzo Pines, the SFA player. Here we go, 2nd and 10, a handoff. No, McBride keeps it. He has room on the right side, and he gets the 1st down. Inside the 10 for McBride. A touchdown wins the game. 1st and goal from the 9.5. They hand it off McBride. He's stuffed in the backfield. McBride goes for -4. Josh Harris off the edge. Clemson not going to go down without a fight. You got to think, Georgia's had all the chances in the world to put them away, but they've been unable to. 2nd and goal here for Georgia. They flip the play. McBride, a blitz. They get there. He floats it. Open man. He gets it inside the 5. Joe Newman. The game is on the line. 3rd and goal to win the game. They come out in shotgun formation. Trips right. Ryan McBride, they're stacking the box. They bring a blitz. He floats it, and a diving goal. Oh, my God, we're going to 4 overtimes. The dive to save the game. He tipped it away. And if he would have corralled it, it would have been a win. But the chip shot now to send us to 4 overtimes. And it's good! 62-62! Holy smokes, folks. A 4th overtime here. Every chance to win the game there for Georgia, and they were unable to do it. Well, now they have to come back out here. Absolutely beside themselves at this point. Split back formation. We're in 4 OT. Remember, if a touchdown is scored, we haven't had one since the first frame, but if they score a touchdown, they have to go for 2. 2nd and 2 now. They're inside the 20. Both defenses starting to stand on their head, and you just feel like a turnover might decide this game. So you get a handoff. It's a counter to McBride. He gets a fresh set of downs up the gut. Georgia looking a lot better on this drive than the previous two running the ball. They've been shaky with the run the last 2 frames. They started to find something that works here. And handoff there. Oh, what a move to get to the outside, but he only gets about 1 there. As McBride is coming up on his 40th carry of the day. A true workhorse back trying to will his team to victory. 2nd and 9. We got shotgun again. Caleb Broussard, hand on the ground. He is in motion as they flip the play. They're at the 11. Quick option. He flips it out. McBride, he has all the room in the world. Touchdown, Georgia. They take the lead. This game might be getting its own highlight video as they go for 2 now to try and take an 8-point lead. Can they punch it in? They're stacking the line. A delay and give. That's not going to work, folks. A 6-point lead opens the door for Clemson. As they have the ball, they have to get a touchdown, and then it will be down to the 2-point conversion. For overtime, folks. 68-62. Walter Hearn over the middle, open man, and oh, he's hit up. Georgia absolutely laying the boom here tonight. As Trent Freeman, the #1 target, brings it in. 2nd and short here as we head inside the 20. Walter Hearn in the backfield along with Corey Cross. They're going to hand it off here. A true handoff. And he's smoked again at the line. The physicality from the Bulldogs is showing today. It's lasting through 4 OTs. As you can hear the fans starting to bark at children in the stands. 3rd and 2, folks. They have 2 tight ends on the field. Corey Cross in the backfield. Stack in the box. Give me another handoff. Can he get there? He runs over a man and that's a 1st down. Corey Cross delivering the boom himself. Clemson just doesn't back down. That's what's made them so unbeatable the last 5 seasons. When everything seems to go against them, they find a way. They find the will to win. Can they do it again? 1st and 10 here, Clemson. Walter Hearn, he takes off. He has some room. He cuts upfield. He has room. Touchdown, Walter Hearn. What a run from the quarterback as they are a 2-point conversion away from winning the game. Here we go, Walter Hearn. To win the game or send us to a 5th overtime. Hearn, he has time. He assesses, he goes for a touchdown, Clemson! They win the game! 4 overtime, 70-68! Clemson survives again! What a finish! Death Valley is in incredible atmosphere right now. Walter Hearn doing it himself. One of the best games in SFA history, no doubt. What was that absolutely insane finish? BearCave knew that game was coming. Good old-fashioned football, baby. 70-68. And we got to see if that may or may not be the highest scoring game in SFA history. I'm not sure. It might be the highest of this era. Wait, Florida man. Wait, did your parlay really miss by 1? No shot. Oh, Georgia, yeah, Ryan McBride, man, he had the game won. And this game has to have its own highlight video, man. I have so many highlights. This is going to be its own video. The preseason #1 ranked game, all the hype was lost coming into it. And Clemson crawls back they somehow crawl back and win it again. And it's games like this where I don't know if ECU can beat these guys. On paper we should, but holy smokes, what a finish! We got a kickoff return. This game had literally everything. Cody Williams going absolutely ballistic in this fourth quarter, of course. 42 combined points. We saw 2 of these touchdowns. Incredible. And then overtime, obviously, that first frame. And then back-to-back field goals and the 2-point conversion. Walter Hearn running it himself both times. Absolute classic. We got to look up to see if this is the highest scoring game in SFA history. It's on the scorigami sheet. We have to check it out. It might just be. As that is 136 combined, or 38 combined points. As these teams both just went absolutely nuclear. But once again, Clemson always seems like the dream team. Bert Osborne got himself a pick. 2 sacks from Gaddis here. And Georgia loses another heartbreaker. And honestly, like, this might be a game that, like, they lose, but they get ranked. Like, Michael Smith, 60 throws from Walter Hearn. 567 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he wins it on the ground. Absolutely incredible. Corey Cross did himself. Had a great game. Incredible game. Incredible. Absolutely saved the stream. And how about that Ryland Magnusum sack on that 4th down? It's every single time. It's what makes the SFA so crazy is those SFA players, man. They always show up. So you're telling me, oh, then why are you whining? I thought your Shamrock thing was... Did you have another parlay cooking or what? All right. Here we go. We got Clemson. And as always, folks, as we end the BearCave stream, well, you should have left this game off. I don't know what to tell you. Alright, so before we get to game day and all that, let's make sure this is the last game of the week. It is, so that stream will be coming up here shortly. But first, we always look ahead to the next week. Week 9, this is going to be a banger. Arizona State in Arizona. App State in Charlotte. We got some big-time games coming up. Utah, Stanford, Southern Miss, Florida Atlantic. Bedlam, and no longer week 15. We've managed to move it to week 9. That's crazy. We might actually see gameplay from that for once. Texas and Tennessee is going to be a banger. We got Arkansas and Kansas. Michigan State. Maryland, low-key having a good year. You got Clemson and Coastal. Oh, that could be a great game. UCF taking on Georgia State. Toledo, Baylor. Texas Tech, Iowa State. Ohio State, Penn State. That's going to be a great one. So many good games, folks, this week. Holy cow. And A&M taking on Kentucky, man. They're better than that game that they just had. 2 teams now coming off losses. Probably an unranked Big Ten game. Wisconsin, Minnesota. UNLV, Fresno. Some big-time user games coming up next week, folks. And that next stream will be on Monday. But that's all we got today, folks, for the BearCave stream. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and watching the stream. I'll be, as normal, I'm going to take about 5-10 minutes, and I'll be back with the game day. We've got Buffalo and we've got Army. 2 ranked teams. It's going to be one heck of a game. And as always, check out Home Field. You get 15% off when you use code SFA, all capitals. And I will see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for watching.